So you learn to love what must be done by doing it, whether you feel like it or not, and then recognizing what's working, recognizing how it's good. Hello and welcome to the Simply Convivial podcast. I'm Mystie Winckler, homemaker, homeschool mom of 5 with 3 graduates and 2 grandbabies, and I want to help you make your home convivial. Convivial means enjoying life together. That's the hospitable atmosphere that we want to create in our homes. My goal is to equip as many women as possible to become engaged, competent, cheerful Christian homemakers. So today I have a clip from a kickoff workshop that I did inside Convivial Circle for Sweep and Smile. Sweep and Smile is our most popular course, and currently if you sign up for the free trial of our new app, the Simply Convivial Library, you can get the audio of our Sweep and Smile course. When you subscribe to the Simply Convivial Library app, then you get a rotating selection of the course audio, as well as weekly seminars that will help you keep your head in the game as a Christian homemaker. But today, let's dig into the idea of a sustainable strategy when it comes to keeping our house clean. So grab a basket of laundry to fold and let's dig in. It is also a great time in the summer to harness some of that energy toward building skills, habits, and routines that will then serve us better moving forward. And when the school stuff starts back up again, you have some things in place. And even if you're schooling year round or things haven't really changed at all for you, still this summer, the weather is nicer, there's more sunshine, so more feels possible in the summer than at other times. And so we do want to take advantage of that. There's the old saying, make hay while the sun shines. So we want to be making hay while the literal sun is literally shining. It's a real thing and not just a metaphor. We have more energy and feel more optimistic when there's sunshine. We feel more motivated and ready to work hard when there's sunshine. And that's good that we can take care of when it's sunny, that we can't during other times. And so we should take advantage of that design feature instead of hoping for or trying for some kind of consistency that means sameness all year round, sameness day to day, sameness week over week. Sameness is not actually sustainable. Sometimes that's what we think we should be shooting for, or we think that's a definition of sustainable, right? Sustainable means doing the exact same thing all the time. And then we're frustrated because that never works for us. But that was never like how it was supposed to work, especially for women's work, for home and for family and for people. If you are working in a caretaker type position, if you're working with and for people, which you are if you're a mom, you are if you're a homemaker, and then there are also other ways of caretaking, maybe a literal caretaker, maybe you have parents that you're taking care of, maybe you are serving in different ways in your church community or in your local community where you are caring for people. And people, especially when you have a group of them, are not consistent. You can't really do the exact same thing every day when you're dealing with people. Doing the exact same thing regularly, on rhythm, just methodically, is what machines do. That is the factory model of efficiency. And we don't want to turn other people into machines and try to make other people work like clockwork. And we also don't want that for ourselves. We don't need to, and we really shouldn't want to work like machines ourselves or set up our homes to be like factories. So instead, we do have to think more like a general. You are managing resources, like food, supplies, tools. There are objects, there are things that you have to manage towards a strategy. There are also people that you have to manage towards the strategy and help them do what they are supposed to be doing, hold them accountable, figure out problems, people problems, towards executing your strategy, towards hitting some kind of end goal. And to do that, you have to have a strategy and you have to have planned for a strategy. As the saying goes, I think it's General Patton, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. So you make the plan, and it's the general's job to plan, but the plan's not bad if it's not executed in the exact same way that it was planned. Instead, you make the plan so that you've thought things through, you know where you're going, you know your options. And then once things are in play and in motion, you have to adapt based on how things are going, how people are responding, how people are obeying orders, and then what circumstances come up in ways that you can't predict during your planning phase. I forget now what the other saying, I don't remember if this was a military saying or a business saying, but there's the one that's also, your plan is nothing, but planning is everything. I think that's a paraphrase, but something like that, where it's not about, you don't judge your planning by how well circumstances matched your plan, but rather the process of planning prepares you to respond appropriately to whatever does come about. It's thinking time, strategy time that allows you to move forward strategically, to still move your goals forward, to have better outcomes, even if you didn't perfectly predict the future. So, what does this have to do with Sweep and Smile? Sweep and Smile is partly planning, partly strategy, and part implementation. And while you're working through Sweep and Smile, you are going to be iterating on your plan. You're going to be making a plan, and then you're going to be seeing how it works out in real life. And you need to not throw away the plan and try to start from scratch again when it doesn't work exactly the way you wanted it to work. Because you're not going to make a plan. There is no plan that is always, every time, going to work out the way that you wanted it to. That's not the goal. That's not the objective. It's not going to happen. But we are gaining experience and using our experience to become better and better at being responsive to the current actual needs in our household. So what we want as we either start for the first time, probably none of you here have never had a morning routine or an evening routine or tried to have one, right? I know many of you here have already worked through Sweep and Smile before, and you're here again. And that is wonderful because we all know that it takes iteration. But like a morning and evening routine is something pretty much every guru will tell you that you need. And any one of us who's been homemaking for any amount of time has at least tried some form of a morning routine or an evening routine or both. And so when we come at these routines through Sweep and Smile, don't try starting from scratch. Always work off of your experience. Your experience is valuable and your circumstances are changing. So you're going to have to adapt and iterate. So you're not clearing the decks and starting over from scratch to now create the thing that will finally and forever work and stay in place without needing to ever adapt again. Instead, we're getting good at adapting. And you get good at adapting, responding by paying attention to what is and is not working. So you don't just want to say, oh, my morning routine isn't working. throw it out, start over. That is the habit of perfectionism, and it will lead to overwhelm. So you're not starting from scratch. To learn from your experience, want to evaluate what did and didn't work. So if all you can think about when you think about your routines is what doesn't work and how it's entirely broken, and you need to start over from scratch and you can't think of anything that was good about it at all, then that's an indication of an attitude problem and not a routine problem. That's a mindset issue, a bad attitude, a complaining attitude, and it's not true. It's not a true story. And we need to reject it and look for more facts. That's what we're talking about in our monthly topic chat right now, just the facts. And somewhere in those facts, you will find things that are working. You just weren't counting it. It doesn't seem worth counting. The wins, the successes don't seem significant to you because you're fixating on what's not working and what's broken. That's discouraging. That's problematic. And that's going to keep you stuck. You're not going to get anywhere just mulling over and over in your mind all the things that are not working, because you actually make progress off the back of progress. You have to be aware and notice what's not working so that you know what to improve or where to improve. But the only way to know how to improve is to build off what has worked to improve before. Sometimes I think we churn internally about our failures and about how things are broken because we think that we will get fired up and motivated to move forward by thinking through all the things that are bad and broken. Like, we think that it takes discontent to move ourselves out of our problems. There's a kind of discontent with the status quo that is helpful. So, like most errors, it's not 100% wrong, but just stewing and spiraling in how things are not going the way that you would like is actually not a way to move forward productively. There is no way out of that. Is just a spiral that continues to get worse and worse because you're reinforcing in your mind how not in control you are. And and as I like to say, the only kind of control you're supposed to have is self-control. But what we want is situation control. So we stew and we spiral on how the situation or other people, even worse. But if we've stopped ourselves from being all tumultuous in our minds about other people, then sometimes we shift that. It's all about the situation and how the house is messier than we think it has any right to be. Or people use too many dishes. And like, we fixate on problems that maybe aren't even really problems, but we're looking to blame shift. And we are looking to control things that are not ours to control. And that shifts our attention off of what we are supposed to be controlling, which is ourselves and our responses to those people and situations that are outside our control. And so we're fixating on these things that are broken and problematic and trouble, and digging ourselves deeper into not exercising the self-control that will actually move us forward. Because you don't need to change and control the situation to make progress. You need to control yourself to make progress. The situation and the other people don't have to change first. The change starts with you and self-control, which starts with taking control of your thoughts and your attitude and thinking about what you are responsible for first before thinking about what other people are responsible for, and trying to fix other people before you fix yourself, or trying to fix the closet organization or your dish cleaning routine or what cleaner options you have on hand. Like, those are more interesting or fun external things that we think, oh, if I just fix that, then everything will be easy. But nothing becomes easy or even streamlined if we haven't dealt with our thought patterns, our responses to our work, our feelings about our work. But we can take control of ourselves, of our attitude, of even how we feel about the work that we have to do. We can learn to love what must be done, but that requires self-control, because you're not going to learn to love what must be done if you never do what must be done. You learn to love it by doing it and noticing how it matters and helps and how much you love having it done. So you learn to love what must be done by doing it, whether you feel like it or not, and then recognizing what's working, recognizing how it's good, recognizing how it's worthwhile. And that gradually over time builds up to where, because you've changed the way that you are even thinking about your life and your home and other people, the situation has changed because you've improved it, but it's really all started with you. You can get the unabridged version of that workshop in the month of July when you start your free trial of the Simply Convivial Library app. You can find it in your app store or go to simplyconvivial.com/library to learn more about our brand new app, the Simply Convivial Library. It's a one-stop shop that you can put on your home screen to find the podcast, free workshops, and so much more. Just search for Simply Convivial in your app store or go to simplyconvivial.com/library to learn all about it. I hope that this new app will help you to repent, rejoice, repeat.